to it. But let's say you're going to create a, no, I'm going to make this up, the #1 pollinating creature, the two-horned beetle. I'm just making it up, okay? So I'm going to turn this piece of clay, I'm going to use some of my clay techniques, this is called coil, to turn it into a two-horned beetle. Is it a pollinator? Oh, wow. Okay, so I'm going to take this guy out for now. Come back to that later. Okay, so for my two-horned beetle, I want it to come out. But if I cut this and then stick it on there, it might not be strong enough to be stuck on there and also hold its shape. So it could like fall over or lose its shape, okay? So sometimes when we're doing sculpture, we need to add something called an armature. An armature. You want to say it back? Armature. Okay, so an armature is for a sculpture what our spine is for human beings. It keeps us upright, okay? So we have this floral wire, ATP floral wire. Is this a built-in?
Yes, it is.
Cool. Magical. So I'm going to create an armature or a spine.
Yeah.
Easier said than done. Oh, it makes a little dent and then you can pull it off. Okay. So I'm going to create a spine for this piece of clay. I'm going to kind of open it up, stick that in the middle. Now, if I was using this like with a different kind of clay, like, because all I'm going to do with this is create this one mask this one time, but if I was going to create a whole sculpture, I'd probably take the time to cover every little bit of that wire up. But since I'm not too stressed out about that, I'm just going to roll it on through there. So now I can change the shape of that clay, and I can have something that sticks that far off of my mask. Alright, I'm going to rush through this one so that you can get to the part where you guys understand how the rest of the materials work. Okay. Obviously this one's much stronger. Okay, so let's say I added the things to the top and I added the side, and now I have this two-horned beetle. The next step is we're going to coat everything where we're going to put adhesive. We're going to coat it with a little bit of Vaseline. So it's a good thing our fingers are already nice and oily and sticky, right? So I take a little bit of Vaseline. And then I find I just start with like a little bit and spread it out like this. This is what I've done in my classroom. Because you really don't need very much. And the tendency is if you take that big glob, and yeah, it gets too much. Then, there's nothing wrong with Vaseline. It is a quick moisturizer. So you know what I do when I'm done with it? Just rub it into the back of my hand. That's how I get rid of the Vaseline. Oh, look what happened to my two-horned beetle that I didn't put an armature in. It looks cool that way? Yeah. So now you guys see the value of an armature, right? Maybe I'll put it on this. Alright, so we're going to use a starch. So traditional paper mache, papier mache is a French word that means to glue paper. So this is going to be used as the adhesive instead of glue. So in school, have you guys mixed Elmer's glue with water to create paper mache before? Almost half of us, okay, that's great. So we're going to actually use liquid starch because it's ready to go. We're going to pour a little liquid starch into each one of your bowls at your table. And then you're each going to get a shop towel. You can get more than one too. But I shredded my shop towel to create these pieces. I actually think triangles work the best because you can taper off that little tail on the triangle. If you get too big, it's kind of harder to push it down into those smaller cracks. So I like having a variety of shapes to use so that when I'm using a smaller space, I can use a smaller piece. So squeegee, you guys know what squeegee is? Yeah. Yeah? No? Okay, squeegee takes the water off of things, like when you're washing windows or whatever, okay? So this is your paper mache squeegee, your two fingers, okay? So you're going to dip this in here, and it's going to be so drippy if you let it, if you just go like this. So what you're going to do is you're going to squeegee it, you pinch it, pull down, and take off that excess. And then I just wipe my finger on the side of the bowl so that I'm not dripping everywhere. And we're going to cover up this whole thing with pieces of mache, including the parts where we added things on. We want to get to the point today where you have all of your mask covered in at least 2 layers so that tomorrow we can pop this off of here and you'll have your basic shape for your mask, and then we can start adding things around it. Do you guys need to, do you want me to show you how to wrap one around here? Or no, you're good? Okay, good. Let's take some.
So here's your guys' shop towels if you want to tear them into strips like that, or if they're too long, you can also tear them the other way too. One option is already clay. No, it has like a stuff in underneath.
Yeah, no worries.
Do I need to show you
More material. You could also build in your own with some wire and then put your towel over it. Build an armature with wire.